Hello, my name is Mero, and this is my Awesome Games Done Quick 2019 submission video for Slot Car Rivals All Courses with Booster. Now when I say with booster, I'm referring to that computer chip you can see on the right side of the screen. Rather than our car deciding our stats, it's the booster which you set through Street Pass tags. We're going to be playing in Ghost Race, which is this game's time trials, in order to keep the same stats in between each race, making it a whole lot more consistent, not having to spend play coins or anything like that. So without further ado, we're going to get right into the run. 3, 2, 1, go. So the main way of controlling this game is you hold A to go, you let go of A to stop, which sounds simple, but there's a lot of intricacy to it. Because each of these corners, which are the red strips on the ground, you have to lower your speed into the blue area, which is that meter on the left side of the screen, and then press A again to bring it back up, and you'll get, not only will you keep all of your speed, you'll get a little tiny boost, which will allow you to just fly through the course. And tight timing like that makes up most of the tech in this run. Trying to avoid crashing our car as much as we can, of course. So these first courses really don't have a whole lot going on, so it's a great time to explain the mechanics. Like I said, the intricacies of each corner it's pretty much down to the frame, how much speed you'll keep, and how big your boost will be when you exit the corner. But in a real-time setting, without pause buffering, it's not really doable to get it, optimally every time. But moving right along, we are going to see a little trick at the start of this race, which I'm sure you'll be able to notice. Right there, we drove right across a corner, which seems like it would be slow, but it's actually not. Because when you start a race, there's about a second and a half while you're accelerating up to top speed, and in that time, you will not be affected by corners, which means you can drive right over them without the risk of crashing, though you don't get any kind of boost. Which actually saves a good, little bit of time, probably down to the, 10 frames maybe? Third of a second for this game. Which adds up. So this course might look familiar. There are 9 EX courses in this game, which are the courses we've already played, but backwards. Though these first two don't have a whole lot going on, we're going to see much more different ones coming up later. There's going to be ones that are basically completely different, much faster, much slower, that kind of stuff. And like I said, not a whole lot to explain here. We've gotten through the mechanics, we've described what EX courses are. This would be a fine time for donations, probably about 45 seconds worth. So, yeah, just gonna finish this up real quick. Not a whole lot to say. And just zooming right in. Now, this course is gonna feature what we call boost pads, I guess. But rather than just getting a speed boost when you go over them, you have to hold A to a very specific point and then release it as you come across this rainbow section. And the earlier you release it, down to the frame, the faster you'll go off of it. Because it takes the same amount of time and it'll always put you at the same spot. So if you get off at the first possible frame, you'll save yourself a little bit of time. Keep missing these ones just a little bit. Like I said, the timing's really tight. Alright, and this course is just a whole bunch of corners. It's really tough to get it perfectly, so let's see if I can't get that. And something about this course in particular is that the level layout changes for lap 2. Like you can see there, we're on a completely different set of corners now. And now we're back to the original layout. just finishing this up. Alright. Now, as I'm choosing courses, I'm actually, for the Class B courses, I'm using the touchscreen, because rather than hitting the L or R trigger twice to choose that class, it's faster to just use the touchscreen. Another corner skip there. And menuing is, you know, the other part of this run, basically, because it does use real time. I accidentally got a crash there. Like, and a bit about crashing is that, of course, you fall off the course, you gotta be put back on. And there's a second and a half, just like when you start the race, that you can't activate corners. And that can, especially in a place like this, be very detrimental. And also, if you miss corners, you're a little below top speed, so that will mess things up just a little bit, especially when you have a lot of corners in a row like that. Now, for the EX version of the island level, it goes of course it goes backwards, but so do the boost pads. And this actually makes the EX version about 3 seconds faster, because they added that one right there. Which is a little bit shorter than the one on the regular version, which means we spend less time going slow. Oh. Well, if I could actually get it. Like I said, really tough timing to get most of these. One more, alright. You can see that that was about 2 seconds faster. And for the EX version of the city, we have the the lap 2 layout for laps 1 and 3, and vice versa. So we're gonna get 2 corner skips up here. And that pesky 3-corner combo I was talking about from earlier just showed up again. What you saw there, I got a cool, which is below excellent. It gives you such a tiny boost that you might as well have missed the boost altogether. And those are pretty much harder to get than an excellent, because you have to have just wrong enough timing. Like I said, yeah, that's a really tough area. Moving right along. Now you're gonna see some blue boosters in this one, which I guess we could call zippers. And they're gonna give us an insane amount of speed that we have to be really careful with. Like right there. And we can hold on to this speed as we zoom across these corners. If you crash on those corners, you'll lose a good 3 seconds, just like that, because you lose all the speed from the zipper. But we managed to make it through just fine. Oops. My hand had slipped a little bit and caused me to miss menu. It shouldn't happen too much, but... So here is a dilemma. We have corners right next to boost pads. So how does that work? Well, because the boost pads, if you miss, you still get put at your normal top speed. We have to deal with these corners no matter what. And I thought I was on lap 3 for a second. And actually, the boosted speed you get from the corner will carry over onto the slow part of the boost pad, which means you can save yourself a tremendous amount of time. Tremendous in the scale of a 30-second race, anyway. Just by hitting those corners and then using that speed to save time as you go across the boost pad. Another corner skip right there. Now, something you're going to see a lot in this course are slopes. They change your speed just a little bit, and it makes it, of course, harder to get to top speed if you crash uphill. A little crazier timing as you're going downhill, because it's a little faster than usual. Again, there's a lot of intricacy to it. But other than lap 1, this particular one's going really well. And we're out of there. So for the EX version of full course, I believe it's called full course, you know, like a full course meal, we have the boosters pretty much immediately, for the zippers I mean. And you have more time to cover So missing the corner is even more crucial. Sorry, missing the corner is even more costly. And hitting it there, like you saw, is much more important. There's also only one booster, or one zipper. Even though the actual time it takes to finish the course isn't that much different if you don't crash. So now, unlike the regular version of this course, we have to hit the boosters, or yeah, the boost pads before we hit the corners. So it's a little something like this. And like I said, if we miss the boost pads, we're still at top speed, which means we still have to deal with the corners one way or the other. The timing for this is very, very specific in order to get across without crashing. Almost through. Oh no. So this is the now that we're in the final cup, we get EX courses for the third track in each cup, which hasn't had one yet. And right away is the hardest one in the game. I actually changed my camera view to get a better look at that boost pad, because the activation window is like half the size of all the other ones. And missing any of those going uphill will cost a ton of time. I don't know why I keep crashing there. We got the boost up 3 times for 3, but didn't have such a great time on the way down, unfortunately. But that's alright, that's alright. So the EX version of Desert Swirl is Starry Swirl, which plays basically the same. No corner skip, and one less corner on that loop there, which surprisingly takes about 3 to 4 seconds off of this course's time compared to the non-EX version. Just kind of a fun fact there. Again, these courses are pretty much already explained. Probably another good time for donations. Well, for this one and the one coming up, because there's not really any difference there. Hit the wrong thing there by mistake. So other than looking a whole lot more 1960s, this plays pretty much exactly the same. There's one less corner around these corkscrews around the trees, but again, that's not really a huge deal. So Starry Swirl in this course again, decent time for donations, probably about a minute's worth. Just gonna take care of these boys right here. And you can see, oh, I was gonna say you could see just how far ahead we got of the ghost, but spoke too soon. So now for the final course. If you like Rainbow Road, you're gonna love this. It's crazy looking. And it's got a little bit of everything rolled into one. A corner skip, boosted speed we have to carry through corners. It's got a loop-de-loop that loses a surprising amount of time to miss, as I miss it again. I don't know why I keep missing that one particular loop when I normally get it every time, but that's beside the point. There we go. And time, of course, is going to be when we cross the finish line on the 3rd lap, right there. And that is Slot Car Rivals, all courses with booster. Thank you for watching. I hope you consider it for the marathon. Have yourself a great day.